The crystalline spires of Vareth Prime gleamed against the violet sky as Eva Martinez stood on the observation deck of the Remembrance, humanity's newest dreadnought. Her fingers traced the edge of a small worn medallion, a gift from a dying Varathi elder 50 years ago, when she was just a child aboard a colony transport. "Captain, we're receiving distress signals from the surface," Lieutenant Luis Chen reported, his voice tight with urgency. "The Krell Armada has broken through their orbital defenses. The Varathi are requesting immediate evacuation." Ava's jaw tightened. The Varathi, those gentle philosophical beings who had sheltered humanity's first desperate refugees when Earth's colony ships ran out of fuel in uncharted space. They had shared their food, their medicine, their knowledge, asking nothing in return except friendship. Now 3 generations later, the Krell Empire sought to exterminate them for their resource-rich world. "How long until the Krell planetfall?" Eva asked. 18 minutes, Captain. Then we have 17 minutes to change history." Eva turned to face her bridge crew, her eyes blazing with determination. "Luis, signal the fleet. All vessels are to assume defensive formation Alpha 7 around Varath Prime. No Krell ship reaches that surface." Luis hesitated only a moment. "Captain, we're outnumbered 4-1. Command ordered us to evacuate civilians only. Direct engagement wasn't authorized," Eva smiled grimly. "Humanity doesn't abandon its friends, Lieutenant. My grandmother told me stories about the Varathi Gardens, how they grew food for starving human children while their own people went hungry, how they taught us their medical techniques when plague ravaged our ships, how they mourned our dead as their own." She activated the fleet-wide channel, her voice carrying to every human vessel in orbit. "This is Captain Martinez of the Remembrance. 50 years ago, the Varathi saved us when we had nothing. Today they have us. Today they have humanity. And the Krell are about to learn what that means." The response was immediate. 23 human vessels, warships, freighters, even mining craft, moved into defensive positions. They were a fraction of the Krell Armada's size, but they moved with purpose, with unity, with something the Krell had never truly understood. Loyalty born not from conquest, but from gratitude. "Krell flagship is hailing us," Luis reported. "Put them through." The holographic display shimmered, revealing the chitinous face of Warlord Kresh, his mandibles clicking with amusement. "Humans, your reputation for sentimentality precedes you. Stand aside. This world's resources belong to the Krell Empire by right of superior force." "Superior force?" Eva's laugh was cold. "You know what humans call that? A challenge." Before Kresh could respond, Eva cut the transmission. "All ships execute Operation Payback. Luis, tell engineering. I want every trick we've learned in the past 5 decades online. Varathi shield harmonics, Torian drive modifications, everything those kind species taught us when we had nothing to offer but our word." The Remembrance shuddered as experimental weapons systems, gifts from a dozen grateful species humanity had aided over the years, came online. The Varathi hadn't been the only ones to show humanity kindness, and humanity had repaid every act of generosity tenfold. Now, that accumulated debt of friendship manifested as cutting-edge technology integrated into human military doctrine. The Krell Armada opened fire first, confident in their numerical superiority. But humanity had learned more than technology from their alien friends. They had learned tactics, strategy, philosophy. The human fleet scattered like droplets of mercury, each ship moving in perfect synchronization with the others. Luis coordinated the dance of destruction from his console, his fingers flying across holographic displays, marking targets. "Krell Dreadnought Theta. 7 has concentrated fire on Sector 9, exactly as predicted." "Good," Eva said. "They fight like conquerors. We fight like people with everything to lose. Spring the trap." 3 human frigates that had appeared to retreat suddenly pivoted, releasing a barrage of missiles modified with Varathi phase shift technology. The projectiles passed through the Krell shields as though they were vapor, detonating against hulls with devastating precision. 2 Krell capital ships erupted in silent blossoms of fire. "Warlord Kresh is hailing again," Luis announced, barely suppressing a grin. "Now he wants to talk," Eva muttered. "Put him through." Kresh's hologram flickered with instability, his ship clearly damaged. "You fight with stolen technology." "Dishonor? Stolen?" Eva interrupted, her voice sharp as a blade. "This technology was given freely by friends we earned through decades of trust and mutual respect. Concepts foreign to you, I imagine. The Varathi taught us their shield harmonics. The Taurians shared their drive designs. The Zelaxians provided their targeting algorithms, all because humanity helped them when they needed us. She leaned forward, her expression fierce. You see weapons, Warlord. We see gifts from people we would die to protect, and today you'll learn the difference. The battle raged for 3 hours, but the outcome was never truly in doubt. The Krell had numbers and firepower, but humanity had something more dangerous. They were fighting for a debt of honor that transcended calculation. Every human aboard those ships knew the stories. Grandparents who survived because of Varathi generosity. Parents who learned medicine from Varathi healers. Children who grew up playing in those legendary gardens. When the last Krell ship jumped to hyperspace, retreating in disarray, the human fleet had lost 6 vessels. But Vareth Prime remained untouched, its violet skies unmarred by invasion. Eva stood on the surface that evening, surrounded by Varathi elders. The same gardens her grandmother had described stretched before her, bioluminescent flowers beginning their evening glow. An elderly Varathi approached, her crystalline eyes reflecting the sunset. Captain Martinez, she said in their musical language, which Eva had learned as a child. Your grandmother used to play in these gardens. I remember her laughter. Eva felt tears prick her eyes. She never forgot this place. None of us did. We just needed time to grow strong enough to repay the kindness you showed us. The elder placed a gentle hand on Eva's shoulder. You misunderstand, dear child. We never expected repayment. That is not why we helped. We know, Eva replied, smiling through her tears. That's exactly why we came back. Humanity never forgets a kindness. And our payback, she gestured at the fleet in orbit, can shake worlds. Luis joined them, carrying a data pad. Captain, we're receiving messages from Council Space. 17 species are requesting human protection agreements. Apparently, word spreads fast. Eva looked up at the stars where human ships stood vigil over a grateful world. Good, she said quietly. Let the galaxy know. Help humanity when we're down, and we'll move heaven and hell to be there when you need us. That's the human way. And in the gardens of Vareth Prime, where human children had once played as refugees, the flowers bloomed brighter than ever before, as if the world itself celebrated the payment of an old sacred debt.